Time is 4:44 p.m. On August 18th. I'd like to call to order the August 18th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Palladino, and Commissioner Sumter. First item on the agenda, acceptance of the minutes of July 21st, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting.
Are there any corrections, deletions, or omissions?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, all in favor of approving the July 21st minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now I'll announce now that I have to join another Zoom meeting at 5:30. So if I leave, I will turn the chairmanship over to the senior commissioner, Commissioner Lopez, to conduct the rest of the meeting. Next item on the agenda, public participation. Do we have anybody waiting to address the police commission?
We do, Mayor. I'm gonna unmute Mr. Levin. And Mr. Levin, you're unmuted.
Okay, hello. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is John Levin. I'm here again. I'm still trying. It's not easy. I understand that I should expect to be cut off if my remarks last longer than 3 minutes, and also that I likely will be cut off immediately if I discuss or make reference to an item that the mayor considers to be not on this meeting's agenda.
You are correct.
I understand the commission chairman will not allow me to ask the commissioners whether they have received my messages because he considers that inquiry to be grilling them.
We will,
permit that.
you'll be muted
made-
at this time. Would you mute Mr. Levin, please? I've explained ad nauseum to Mr. Levin that if he wishes to ask any commissioner any questions, he can contact them directly. I've also asked the chief to poll each commissioner to see if they would like to have a city email. So Mr. Levin's wanting to speak to any commissioner. I know that he had a meeting with Commissioner Palladino and Commissioner Lopez, and I was briefed on that meeting. So there is any other time that he would like to discuss anything with a commissioner, he's more than willing or more than able to get in touch with him. More than welcome. So now we will move, if there are any other public participations, people?
There are not, Mayor.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the recognition of July Officer of the Month, Officer Daniel Vasquez. What an amazing thing that he did. So who's going to present that? Is Commissioner or Deputy Chief Blake?
Yes, Mayor. Commissioners, on July 14th, 2025, NOAA Combined Dispatch received a report of a 1-year-old infant that was unconscious and not breathing. Infant was found in a small kiddie-type pool in a backyard at their residence and momentarily left unattended. Officer Vasquez responded forthwith to that residence. He arrived, was waved down by individuals outside the residence, and ran to the front steps of the house, where he observed a small child who was limp and unresponsive in the arms of the child's mother. Officer Vasquez took the child from the mother, performed life-saving techniques. Officer Vasquez turned the child onto his stomach, positioned him vertically along his body to perform back blows. He held the child at a downward angle and delivered several firm back blows. Shortly thereafter, the child began to respond, vomiting water and clearing its airway. The child began to breathe and let out a weak cry. Several more back blows were delivered as the child remained blue and pale, resulting in the child vomiting again. Norwalk Fire and EMS arrived moments later, and Norwalk EMS took care of the infant and transported the infant to the Norwalk Hospital. The infant subsequently made a full recovery. Due to Officer Vasquez's immediate response, quick thinking, and implementation of his training, he was able to save this life of the 1-year-old child and prevent a tragedy. Due to his actions, he was named the July 2025 Officer of the Month.
I give the tremendous congratulations and thanks to Officer Vasquez. I'm sure the family is relieved. I can't imagine what a frightening ordeal event this was. And his training and experience and his being calm under pressure kicked in, and he was able to save a life. And I know there's no greater feeling than that for Officer Vasquez, that he was able to save this young child. And you never can imagine what this young child might grow up to accomplish. And thanks to Officer Vasquez, this young child will have that opportunity, and the parents have their young child back. So congratulations. Commissioners, sharing any of your thoughts?
Okay,
Mayor Rilling,
go ahead, Mr. Palladino. I'll wait.
I'm sorry, thank you. Mayor Rilling, I echo everything you said. You pretty much said everything I was going to say, and again, congratulations to Officer Vasquez for your training and your ability to do what you did under what I'm sure was a very stressful time, and you've saved a family. Thank you.
Commissioner Sumter or Commissioner Lopez, if you'd like to add anything.
Okay. I just want to add that I thought it was excellent work in terms of being able to save the life of a person, a child who has only been into this world for 1 year. And not only that, a child who is not capable of telling even after the decompression that was applied to them. I mean, I thought it was excellent training that he had to be able to be calm and to handle that. And I guess, as I read, even on the way, he turned the child over again and continued, because at first the child was turning blue. I can imagine that it was really, really heart-wrenching, but just great work. And when I think about what happened up at one of the other cities where the parents was with the child, and all of a sudden the child disappeared from them, I just can't imagine that happening. But it did happen, and from what I understand, they had to call off after a while. They had to call off to search for that child. So this was really, really just unbelievable, the work that Officer Vasquez did.
I too want to commend Officer Vasquez for such a heroic act. And I want to echo, of course, what all commissioners and the mayor has expressed. And it's interesting because a lot has been said about the training. Commissioner Sumter just made a reference to, the child turning blue, and yet he persevered. And there were 3 items here that was quite well described in the outline, in the description of the event, where it was referenced. And I thought that I think this is at the heart of it. Immediate response, quick thinking, and implementation of his training, I think summarizes Officer Vasquez's heroic actions. Thank you.
And again, thank you to Officer Vasquez, and congratulations, and move on to the next item, the Chief's Executive Report. You're going to handle that, Deputy Chief Blake?
Yes, Mayor. Commissioners, for July of 2025, we had 183 sworn personnel, 1 officer on admin leave, 2 officers on extended workman's comp. Officers Kim and Corkins recently began the Post Academy. Our professional staff, we have 20 telecommunicators and supervisors assigned to combined dispatch. There was 1 open position. There was a candidate that was offered a position, but subsequently declined due to scheduling conflicts. There is another background that is out now on the next candidate for that position. We have 14 civilian employees and support staff. We are fully staffed. And currently there are no open civilian personnel openings. In July, the department successfully implemented the monthly online interactive dashboard, which provides some additional transparency to the department's operations and activities and officers valuable community information. Data that is currently on that site is our stolen car data. As you can see, during the time frame last year, there were 85 stolen cars. We are down to 46 this year, which is a 45% drop. However, 63% of those people who had vehicles stolen had left their keys in the vehicle. So that still remains an ongoing issue. We continue to prepare for our year 4 CALEA review, which will be September and October of 2025. All budgets are monitored by Mr. Dosimo in the Administrative Services. There's certainly attached information to the report that updates you for July of 2025. Patrol overtime was up 25% from 2024. We had regular vacation, compensatory time, and sick time, but we also had several prisoners that had taken on significant illness while in our custody, which kept them at the hospital for an extended period of time and caused us to be watching them 24 hours a day. Moving on to the next page, the admin report prepared with Mr. Dosimo. You'll see overtime is up in most of our units. The investigative units, that's driven by off-hour investigations primarily. Training overtime's up in large part due to scheduled events that were scheduled earlier in this fiscal year, which is a good thing. The asset forfeiture numbers are compiled there. Moving forward, as we go through the remainder of it, all the pertinent detailed information is there. Nothing really significant, significantly different in regards to that data. Sick days are up 17%, and workman's compensation is up 44%. Any questions in regards to the remainder of the graphs and such that the chief prepared?
Any questions or comments?
I have a question. Thank you, Deputy Chief Blake. With regards to the projects, I'm looking for the bullet. Where was that? Payroll, software transition. Can you tell me a little more?
I'm sure TC Laporte can cover that, but the city of Norwalk's moving to a new payroll software system. So that's the transition. It's a citywide transition that obviously, because we're on city payroll, our administrative staff is participating in learning that system.
Got it. Thank you.
Any further questions on the executive report?
I have
I
none.
have none.
I have none.
Brings us to selective enforcement. Assistant Deputy Chief Dinho, is that, or Community Affairs, I'm sorry.
Mayor, we have the operations report.
Oh, you want to finish? I thought you were finished now. Okay,
Oh, no, yeah, that was the chief's.
we took a break. Okay,
So July Ops report, Detective Bureau highlights, they arrested an individual on 5 burglary warrants. That individual was doing extensive burglaries in the Connecticut Avenue, Scribner Avenue area, and they were able to identify that individual and arrest that individual. Year to date, they had 11 cases they opened up in the month of July. They did weapons compliance for the subject of a protective order and recovered 8 firearms. The individual was supposed to be turning those firearms in. They had not, as of that compliance check. They assisted Darien Police with arresting a resident of Ridge Street who had committed a sexual assault in their city. And a suspect was arrested on a larceny involving a stolen car. Special Services opened up 25 cases during the month of July. They arrested a subject for multiple arrest warrants charging sale of controlled substance, possession of controlled substance, and conspiracy. And they arrested a second suspect for similar charges of sale of a controlled substance and possession of a controlled substance. Those were 2 long-term cases that they were conducting in Special Services. Our Special Victims Unit opened 33 cases. They made multiple arrests that have been pending over the last several months. An individual arrested for sexual assault first on a victim under 10 years old and risk of injury to a minor. They arrested another suspect in charge with assault third and risk of injury to a minor that was involved in an abuse case, a parental abuse case on a child. They arrested a suspect for a robbery second, larceny third, conspiracy and risk of injury that was involved with a armed robbery of a juvenile that occurred here in the city. Our SROs and public safety cadets attended the NERLIA Police Academy in Massachusetts. That's a week-long academy that our officers and our police cadets go to, and it's a simulated police department where they take on different roles, investigate different crimes that are alleged to have occurred, and learn a lot. It's a great event for the kids. There was a total of 35 family violence cases during the month of July. Marine unit, 67 calls for service, 148 year to date, and a total of 14 people rescued year to date. They had overturned kayakers. They pulled 4 people out of the water with those. They had a sinking boat. They pulled 3 people off that boat and were able to tow the boat into shore. And there was another boat that lost power, was drifting towards the lighthouse, and they were able to pull 2 people off that boat and secure it. Some other patrol division highlights: abandoned car unit had 96 calls for service and removed 24 vehicles from our city streets that had been abandoned. First platoon had a report of a larceny of cooking oil theft on New Canaan Avenue. The officer was able to observe some surveillance video and put out a broadcast or a bolo to the other units. And one of our patrol officers located the suspects in that vehicle in the Washington Street, 50 Washington Street parking lot, and they were able to take them into custody quickly and tie them back to that original theft. Day shift located an escaped prisoner that had escaped a prison in New Hampshire and had stolen a vehicle from the Department of Corrections in New Hampshire. They located that individual and arrested them on West Avenue. And on the third platoon, as mentioned before, Officer Vasquez responded and saved that child's life in the previous Officer of the Month write-up. We had 6,920 calls for service during the month of July. Second platoon was, again, as usual, the busiest platoon for service. 145 total arrests for July. We made 1,232 motor vehicle stops in the month of July, which is broken down by various reason on the SE sheet that's attached. That's all I got for you, Mayor.
Yeah. Any questions from the commissioners?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none. Thank you, Deputy Chief.
I have none, thank you.
Thank you. It's a very comprehensive report. We appreciate all the information and just shows how much the police department does. Next, we have the Community Affairs, Deputy Chief Dinho.
Good evening, Honorable Commission. For the month of July, the Community Police Services Division responded to 1,284 total calls for service. They had 20 community outreach events, which are listed here. Quickly, they assisted with the Westport fireworks, the Rowayton fireworks, and the Norwalk fireworks. We attended a Leith Rain for Sergeant Farah. There was a safety event at Calf Pasture Beach. It's an informational handouts prior to concerts every Wednesday night. It's something new that they've started with, I believe it's the fire department and the health department. There was Meadow Gardens housing redevelopment groundbreaking that was attended, the Manresa Island outreach event at Cove Point, and they also assisted the Bridgeport Police Department with the Puerto Rican Day Parade. There was a coffee with a cop at the Norwalk Senior Center. There was a safety event at Calf Pasture Beach again. That's the one on Wednesdays. There was a press conference at the Carver Center that the governor attended, that they assisted with traffic and security. The grassroots tennis outreach was attended. There was a commercial truck enforcement joint operation with the Department of Motor Vehicles Police. There was, they attended and helped with traffic and an escort at the Benfield Memorial Service from Chestnut Street to Rowayton. There was they assisted a Parks and Rec summer camp Touch a Truck. There again was the safety event at Calf Pasture Beach. the Behavioral Health Unit Deflection Day outreach event in front of police headquarters. They were connecting people who were in needs of services. There was the St. Anne's Festival Escort. There was the Cannabis Summit at New Canaan High School. They're basically educating teens as far as marijuana use. They attended a funeral escort. And again, the last Wednesday event, the safety event at the beach. The traffic unit for the month of July made a total of 652 motor vehicle stops, 29 parking violations. They installed 17 child car safety seats. They handled 3 abandoned vehicles, made 6 DUI arrests, 39 cell phone violations, 242 speed-related infractions, 74 stop signs, and 35 for red lights. The Action and Reconstruction team had one event during the month of July. It was a car versus a pedestrian fatality in the Baki Deli parking lot at the corner of Connecticut Avenue in Cedar. The search warrant, when last checked, had been submitted to the cellular carrier. We're awaiting their response for phone records. There were 78 selective enforcement locations throughout the city. And as usual, they're listed by resident requests for service, residents' complaints, and then compiled from the Yukon statistics from accident crashes. The Behavioral Health Unit opened up 46 cases for service. They addressed 46 cases, closed 29. There were 20 cases that were hospitalized. They partnered with the court in Stamford on one of the cases. 12 were referred to services, and 12 they worked with families. The training division, we had 1 class that was attended by 20 officers, and Norwalk Animal Control had a total of 17 incidents or calls for service. 6 animal bites, 4 infractions were issued. And as the very last page, you can see the breakdown of officers that attended the training. And that concludes that report.
Commissioners, any questions?
I have none. Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Yes, sir, Mr. Fish.
I have none. Thank you.
I have none, Mayor.
Thank you. I
And
see
thank
there's
you, Deputy.
been a concentrated effort to step up the selective enforcement through in both operations and community affairs. So that's always good. I still see some pretty poor driving out there. But I know that when a person sees a police officer pull a vehicle over, it makes them stop to think that they could be next. So I want to commend the police department for all the traffic enforcement that have been going on, because it's certainly a quality of life issue.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Now that brings us to the administrative report, Deputy Chief Lepore.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. For the
Good evening.
Good evening.
For the administrative report for our grants and inspections, we had 3 8-hour DUI hires for the month of July. It resulted in 12 motor vehicle stops, 25 infractions, and 2 DUI arrests. And those were basically over the 4th of July weekend. Speed and aggressive grant started in July 1st. So we had 36 8-hour hires for speed and aggressive driving, resulting in 357 motor vehicle stops. 416 infractions were issued, and 162 of those were for speeding, with 1 arrest out of that. We're still awaiting the award notification for Project Safe Neighborhood Grant, and Lieutenant still monitors any state funding, state and federal grant funding. There were no staff inspections conducted in July. The next one will be for the training division, which will be in the month of September. For the crime scene unit, we fingerprinted 117 people, 51 of which were pistol permits. They had 17 case requests for DVDs and photos. 19 cases were processed for evidence, and 93 patrol cases were processed for photos and downloads of scenes. They had 9 cases delivered to the State Forensic Lab for processing, and 26 were returned back. We still have 16 vehicles stored for court cases, and then we have 1 background that was conducted for massage therapists with Hand and Stone Spa, 2 solicitor permits for Frontier Communications, 2 pawnbroker precious metal permits for Yankee Peddler. The CSI van was not deployed during the month of July. Professional Standards still assists Corporation Counsel with 1 ongoing civil case at this time. For body and dashboard cameras, we had 3 body-worn camera hardware replacements for the month of July, 1 for software malfunction, and 2 for case containment issues. They had 37 requests for case videos. 16 cases were downloaded onto 26 disk and USB drives, and 18 electronic shares with court, with 3 of those being internal requests. And the performance audits are still continued on a monthly basis, and we maintain 85% consistency, which fluctuates only by a point of a percentage throughout any month. And then communication really takes place regular basis with any officers for troubleshooting or issues concerning body cameras or dashboard cameras. Accreditation, as you know, we are still collecting our proofs, and we are moving forward with our on-site for September. We also will have our state accreditation on-site, will be our 4-year review, will also be conducted in the month of September for the month during the week of September 15th.
Yeah, any questions from the commissioners?
I have none, Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Chief Lepore. Real good report. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have none.
I have
Very good,
none,
Thank you.
and thank you, Deputy Chief. Your
Thank you.
report was clear, concise.
And the commission should note regarding accreditation, I believe we've been accredited since 1995. So that's 30 years of being accredited, probably one of the longest in the country. We are the largest municipal police department in the state that is accredited. It's not an easy process, but it also makes sure that we're performing to the latest and most acceptable standards in the law enforcement field.
So is there a seal for such a milestone, for achieving such a milestone?
30 years, Commissioner Lepore, Deputy Chief Lepore?
That one I'd have to look up. I don't know if there is or not.
Seal or plaque
I
or
can
something.
find out.
Mhm.
I can find out.
Very interesting.
You might wish to think in terms of working with Michelle Woods Matthews here and do a brief op-ed about national accreditation for law enforcement and acknowledging the fact that this department's been accredited for 30 years. I think that's something the public would find very interesting.
Absolutely, will do, Mayor.
Now we are on to personnel matters. We have one. I'd like somebody to move that forward. Course approval for Officer Mark Vazzella.
So moved.
Item been moved. Who's going to discuss this? Deputy Chief Blake, is that you?
Yeah, Mayor and Commissioners, Officer Mark Vazzella is applying for approval for the below listed courses to complete his Public Safety Administrative Bachelor's of Science degree at Charter Oak State College.
Any questions from the commissioners?
I have no questions.
I have no questions either. Just
I have
want to
none.
commend Officer Vazzella for definitely being so aggressive in pursuing such a goal.
And another comment, I think the public would be quite impressed if they realized how many of our police officers had advanced degrees. I think that's one of the reasons why they're so professional and quite impressive. So if there are no further questions, all in favor of the course approval for Officer Mark Vazzella?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Now we go for informational items, complimentary letters.
Yes, Mayor, this came from the State's Attorney's Office in Stanford. Dear Chief Walsh, I wanted to update you on the state versus Brandon Hamlin and McFarland, which is a 2023 case. It was a shooting that occurred on Garner Street here in South Norwalk. Each defendant pled guilty to criminal attempt to commit assault first. After additionally pled guilty to criminal possession of a firearm. The agreed upon sentence for each case was 12 years. Execution suspended after serving 4 years, followed by 4 years probation. Hamlin has already been sentenced. McFarland will be sentenced on August 4th. Brandon will be sentenced on September 29th. This result is the conclusion of the quick and professional work of the Norwalk Police Department's Detective Bureau, particularly Sergeant John Taranto. Congratulations to your department on a job well done. Very truly yours, Sean McGinnis, Esquire.
It's always nice to see the results of a good investigation, and certainly thanks to the detective unit as well as Sergeant Toronto. Any comments or questions from the commission?
Exemplary work, and of course, the compliment paid goes a long way to demonstrate the effectiveness of what our police department does and what it achieves. The outcome is what we already know. They get now the sentences that were, of course, justice was made and appropriated rightfully. And I think that's all due to great police work at the Norwalk Police Department.
The only thing I have to say is I'm always amazed at how well the Norwalk Police Department and the job that they're able to accomplish month to month. And when I see something like this, I know that they're certainly on the job and doing great work. And I'd just like to commend from the chief right down to the deputies and to the actual policemen who have managed to do just great work.
Great police work, great training, and the results speak for themselves. The Norwalk Police Department is a great department. Thank you.
Absolutely. That being said, the time is 5:16. There are no other items on the agenda. The next meeting would be September 18th, 2025. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We are adjourned at 5:16. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you all.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
Have a
day.
great week.
Thank
Right.
all of you.